Good morning. Today we are going to deal with one of the cyclic accelerators, that is cyclotron. I think you have studied this in your plus 2 classes. We are revising it again. So what is a cyclotron? Cyclotron was one of the earliest types of particle accelerators, and it is still used as the first stage of multi-stage particle accelerators. This cyclotron is a device which is developed in 1931 by E.O. Lorentz and M.S. Livingston. And one of the most interesting application of motion of charged particles in electric and magnetic fields is cyclotron. That means the particle is subjected to both electric as well as magnetic field. And as you know, the cyclotron is a particle accelerator which is used to accelerate charged particles. And these cyclotrons produce very high energy charged particles. So these charged particles will have a kinetic energy half mv square, where v will be the velocity of the particle which is undergoing acceleration. Now what is the principle of the cyclotron? So cyclotron is used to accelerate charged particles. So a charged particle moving perpendicular in a magnetic field will describe a circular path. I repeat, a charged particle moving perpendicular in a magnetic field will describe a circular path. So that's why this accelerator is given a name cyclotron due to its circular path. And the particle is making circular path due to the magnetic field. Now this particle is accelerated by allowing it to pass through electric field. So the magnetic field causes the particle to describe a circular path, and the electric field will accelerate the charged particle. So a positively charged particle can be accelerated to high energy with the help of an oscillating electric field, and also with the use of a strong magnetic field. So that is the principle of cyclotron. I repeat, a charged particle moving perpendicular in a magnetic field will describe a circular path, and it is accelerated by allowing it to pass through a suitably adjusted electric field. So the charged particle moving perpendicular to a magnetic field will experience a force. That force is known as magnetic Lorentz force. So due to this magnetic Lorentz force, that the particle is undergoing a circular path. So Lorentz force is the basic principle of cyclotron. The particle describes a circular path due to the magnetic Lorentz force acting on the particle. And this device is very simple, and it has huge uses in the field of engineering, physics, and also medicine. Now let's have a look on the construction of a cyclotron. In the figure you can see two D-shaped hollow evacuated metal chambers. Two D-shaped hollow evacuated metal chambers, and they are given the name D1 and D2, and this D1 and D2 are known as Ds, and these Ds are placed horizontally with their diametric edges parallel. See, which is the diameter? This is the diameter. Again for D2, this is the diameter. So these diametric edges are made parallel and are slightly separated from each other. See, here you can see there is a small separation between these edges. So diametric edges are parallel and are slightly separated from each other. Now these Ds are connected to a high frequency oscillator which can produce a potential difference, and these two Ds are enclosed in a steel box, and this box is placed in a strong magnetic field, and this magnetic field is given by the two pole pieces of an electromagnet. Here you can just see the Ds only, and these Ds are connected to an radio frequency oscillator. The two Ds are enclosed in an evacuated steel box, and the box is placed between the pole pieces of an electromagnet so that there is magnetic field. So that's the construction. And we are placing the particle which has to be accelerated at the center. So at this center we are placing a positively charged particle which is to be accelerated. Now after acceleration you can see this particle can be extracted out with high velocity to the target. So that is a construction of cyclotron. So this is a more detailed picture in which two Ds, D1 and D2 are connected to a high frequency oscillator, and a target is placed in order to extract this highly accelerated charged particle from the Ds, and we are placing the particle at the center in between the Ds. So at P we place the particle which has to be accelerated. Here you can see the X markings. Here this shows that the magnetic field is perpendicular to the Ds, so that the particle will describe a circular path. So this is another picture showing the details of a cyclotron, where you can see two Ds. Again, here are the two Ds. In between we are placing the particle here, and this particle is expelled out to the target, and this whole apparatus is placed between the electromagnets, so we can apply magnetic field, and this Ds are connected to the radio frequency oscillator so that the particle gets accelerated with the help of this oscillator. Now let's see how this acceleration is done. So we are placing a positive charged particle or a positive ion in between the Ds, and we had applied a magnetic field there so that the particle will describe a circular path, and the Ds are connected to a high frequency oscillator so that the polarity will get reversed in half time period. So when the particle reaches one end of the D, what happens? The polarity of the other D gets reversed. Let's have a look on the previous slide. Here we have placed a positively charged particle here, so that D1 will be negatively polarized, so that the polarity of D1 is negative. That means this particle will get accelerated to this side, and in this side what happens? Whenever it enters here, it describes a circular path as there is magnetic field, and whenever this particle reaches here, what happens? D2 becomes negative, so that the particles will get accelerated or attracted towards D2 as D2 is negative. Then it follows a circular path again, and again when it reaches the edge of the D's, like here, but again D1 is reversed and becomes negative, so the particle from here to here it gets accelerated. So this process continues, and the acceleration of the particle increases to a very high value, and this acceleration is done only in between the D's. That means acceleration is done in the gap between the D's. So that's very important. The particle is accelerated in the gap between the D's. So we know that the particle is following a circular path due to the application of a normal magnetic field. So it needs a centripetal force, and this centripetal force is provided by the magnetic Lorentz force. So we can equate mv square with the bqv. From that you can write the radius r as mv by bq. Now, what is the time taken by the particle to describe a semicircular path? Semicircular path, that is represented with the time t. So, small t is the time taken by the particle to describe a semicircular path. If it is a full circle, we can give the distance as 2 pi r, isn't it? Because 2 pi r is the circumference of the circle having radius r. Now we are going to calculate the time for covering semicircular path. So 2 pi r by 2 is pi r. Now distance pi r divided by velocity v. So from the above equation we can write velocity, and we can substitute it in t. So what we will get? So t is equal to pi r by v, and as you know v is bqr by m. We will get t as m pi by bq. So that is a small t, that means time taken by the particle to describe a semicircular path. Now what will be the total time? Capital T, it is equal to 2 times small t. So we can give capital T as the time period of oscillating electric field, because the oscillating electric field has a time period t, and that much t is taken for completing a full circular path. So capital T is equal to 2 into small t, which is equal to 2 pi m by bq. And from this we can calculate the frequency of the cyclotron. How? By taking the reciprocal of the period. So frequency is equal to frequency nu is equal to 1 by T, that is the cyclotron frequency, which is equal to QB by 2 pi m. So from this we can calculate the time period as well as the cyclotron frequency. I think it's clear to you. We have to just think of how the particle describes a circular path, because for describing circular path the particle needs a centripetal force, and that is provided by the magnetic Lorentz force. Now let's have a look on the different types of uses of cyclotron. So we are getting highly accelerated particle from cyclotron, and these particles are used to bombard nuclei, and we can study the nuclear reactions as well as nuclear structure. So the high energy particles are used to bombard with the nuclei in order to study about nuclear reactions as well as nuclear structure. The high energy particles are used to produce other high energy particles such as neutrons by the method of collision. So these fast neutrons are used in atomic reactors. See, we can accelerate the charged particles in cyclotron. Only charged particles can be accelerated in cyclotron. And this charge, then how we can accelerate a neutron? Neutron is an uncharged particle, isn't it? So neutron can be bombarded with a highly accelerated particle from cyclotron, so that by collision the highly accelerated charged particle will impart or exchange the high energy to the neutrons. So the neutrons will attain energy and become fast neutrons. So these neutrons are used in atomic reactors. Now the third use is, it is used to implant ions into solids and modify their properties or even synthesis new materials, so that the highly accelerated particles can be implanted into the solids and can modify their structure as well as their properties. Let's move on to the limitations of cyclotron. We had already said cyclotrons are a device used to accelerate charged particles. So it cannot accelerate a neutron because neutron do not have any charge. That is the first limitation of a cyclotron. Now we cannot accelerate the particle to a high value. There is a limit for acceleration. Why? Because the mass will vary with velocity after this limit. That is, the energy of charged particles emerging from cyclotron is limited, because at higher velocities the particle is getting accelerated, means it is getting high velocity, isn't it? So in the case of very high velocity, mass will not be a constant. That means mass will change or vary with a high velocity by the relation m is equal to m0 divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square. So we cannot accelerate the particles after a particular extent, since the mass varies with velocity. Here m0 is the rest mass and m is the mass in motion when the velocity is v and c is the velocity of light. So what happens when this charged particle attains high velocity? When it attains a high velocity, its mass will vary. So it's a limitation of cyclotron. Cyclotrons cannot accelerate electrons also because of its smaller mass. It's another limitation. The second one, that is the cyclotron cannot accelerate electrons because of its small mass. At higher speeds, the mass of the ion will increase and it will change the time period of the ion revolution, because the time period, you know, the value of capital T is 2 pi m by bq. So whenever the mass gets changed, the time period also will change. So this results in the ion lagging behind the electric field and eventually loses by collision against the wall of the Ds. So what happens when the mass is changing? When mass changes, the time period capital T also changes. We have arranged the cyclotron in such a way that the time during which the particle describes a semicircular path is equal to the time during which half a cycle of the oscillator is completed. I repeat, the time during which the particle describes a semicircular path, that is a small t, it must be equal to the time during which half cycle of the oscillator is completed. If mass m is varying with velocity, what will happen? Capital T also varies. So it will not, the particle will not then follow a correct path, and it will make, there will be a collision of the particle against the wall of the Ds. So that is a limitation. So it cannot accelerate neutrons, it cannot accelerate electrons due to its smaller mass, and it also cannot accelerate charged particles beyond a particular limit, as with the increase of velocity, mass also varies. So these are the three limitations of cyclotron. I hope the session is clear to you. There can be problems asking from this session. Thank you.